have just enjoyed an extract from Chopin's Bolero in A minor, performed by Yukine Kuroki, who is one of the top winners at the International Piano Competition, held for the very first time here in Vietnam. Now, this competition seeks to find young talents in piano playing and also is a chance to bring Vietnamese audience closer to classical music. So now in our Talk Vietnam today, we'll actually have a chance to talk to some of the members of the jury board about their experience in judging this competition. And also we'll get a chance to hear more from the young talents themselves. So please join me in welcoming our guests for today. Professor Snezana Panovska, one of the leading piano pedagogues of Macedonia and Malaysia. World-renowned pianist Michel Bourdoncle from France. And our very own, a very special guest who has joined us actually in our talk show a couple of years back, people's artist, Đặng Thái Sơn, chairman of the honor and also artistic director.
French pianist Michel Bourdoncle won honors at various competitions and currently leads a career as concert pianist, pedagogue, and artistic director. He has founded his own piano festival in Aix-en-Provence and made many recordings of rare repertoire. Professor Snezana Panovska is a leading piano pedagogue in Macedonia and Malaysia. Many of her students became top winners at international competitions. Professor Panovska is founder and artistic director of the Chopin Society of Malaysia. People's artist Đặng Thái Sơn is the first Asian pianist to win the Warsaw International Chopin Competition in 1980. Maestro Sơn has worked with many international leading musicians and has been invited to many competition jury boards.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, we've just enjoyed a wonderful performance, an extract from Chopin's Bolero in A minor by one of the top winners, that's Yukine Kuroki. And she was the top winner of Table A, or the 10 to 13 age group. Now, could you tell us a little bit about, let me begin with Professor Panovska. What do you think of her performance? What was the quality that brought her to the top of her table?
Yukine was one of the candidates. She, besides her brilliant piano technique and in performance, she gave a lot of her personal view and understanding of this piece. And of course, he showed different variety of music and beautiful sound. And of course, she was very well prepared, and it was pleasure to listen to her. And for me, was not doubted to give her the point for her to get first prize. And I wish her all the best in the future, and I hope to have a chance to listen to her again.
Wonderful. So it seems like Yukine really has love from the judges here. How about for you?
Actually, I make a little correction because I'm not the member of the jury. And actually, that's only one day that I really attend in the competition yesterday for the category C. So I did not have a chance to listen on the category A and B for the children. That's why it's unfair that I give any comment right now. But of course, I think, as far as I know, and people talk with me, then I think the level, of course, that's a criteria that we pick up, first of all, not only talent, but also especially for the kids. It should have a deep professional base. I think that it's really based on that. And then, of course, consider about the potential, because the way to judge the kids about 10 years, 12 years is very different when we just already mature, let's say 24, 25. Exactly. So the chance they grow up, so we look more exactly also the potential. Right. But potential alone is not enough. But of course, combined with the professional base.
Now, before we talk more to our guests today, we'll take a look at a clip where the young masters of the ivory board, the very gifted children from different countries, have come here to Vietnam, to Hanoi, to provide their most convincing interpretations of the renowned repertoire. So let's have a look at that.
The first international piano competition in Vietnam opened in Hanoi on September the 5th, attracting 63 contestants from 10 countries. Organized during the bicentenary of Polish composer Frédéric Chopin, Chopin compositions will be the core repertoire.
Đây là một cái mơ ước cũng ấp ủ rất là từ lâu, của cũng nhiều thế hệ, nhiều các em cũng đã được thử sức mình, được cọ sát ở các cái kỳ thi có các cái mức độ khác nhau. Cái việc mà tổ chức được cái kỳ thi quốc tế lần thứ nhất về ngành piano thì đúng là một cái sự kiện, một cái mốc đánh dấu một cái bước phát triển.
The candidates are organized into 3 age groups, 10 to 13, 14 to 17, and 18 to 25. The youngest group focuses on classical period sonata movements and Chopin miniatures. The main composers for Table B are Bach, Chopin, and Beethoven. The most mature candidates in Table C are asked to play a complete Chopin concerto in addition to 20th century works.
Vòng 1 là em sẽ thi Bach Bình quân luật tập 1 là bài số 5 và Etude Chopin số 4 op số 10 và vòng 2 em sẽ thi là Sonat Mozart số 10 và Nốt Tuyết là bài số 1 ạ.
Berceuse opus số 57 của Chopin và cuối cùng là bài Vals Mi thứ opus post cũng là của Chopin. Cháu cảm thấy rất là thoải mái, cháu cũng rất là thích diễn trước công chúng.
The competition ended on September the 13th. 11-year-old Japanese candidate Kuroki Yukine won first prize for Table A, performing Chopin's variations on a German air, bolero, and 18th etude in G-sharp minor. No first prize was awarded in Table B. 3 second prizes were given ex aequo to Trần Việt Bảo and Lưu Đức Anh of Vietnam and Montesclaros Marigina from the Philippines. In Table C, Kim Young-hoon of the Republic of Korea took top honor. In order to earn distinctions, candidates had to demonstrate accomplished levels of keyboard technique, repertoire choice, and musicality.
First of all, I look for music. We are here to do music. We are not just exhibition on the piano. I'm looking those who are doing good music. This is guaranteed that they are good persons.
While Vietnam's economic development is well known, classical music is still of small stature. The competition follows a series of awards won by Vietnamese pianists at recent Asia-Pacific competitions. The event aims at finding new musical talents and promoting Vietnam's role in global cultural integration.
Now, a question for you, artist Đặng Thái Sơn. We know you are the honorable president of the competition this time. Can you tell us a little bit about the background of this competition, how it came to be about?
I think, as you know, the title President Honorable, so it's quite different. So I really try to contribute what I can do, mostly involved in the process preparation to make that thing happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially for the first time, it's so hard. Everything, even in Vietnam, we say vạn sự khởi đầu nan. So it means everything started with a difficulty.
Exactly.
So make a thing happen in any prize, we have to do that. And also with a so short period, because usually competition we have to prepare, let's say, one year before, so give a chance to make it advertisement and attract more player and give them chance to learn the program. But here so short, since we have only 4 months, it's too short.
Mm-hmm. Right, so it seems like all the hard work paid off because it seems that you have had the success. What do you think of the significance of this competition being held in Vietnam this particular year?
Yeah, exactly, because you know, if I talk in generally, in the world we have right now around 600 international piano competition. It's a very big number. So until now, we never can compete with the Europe, with America. Even in Asia, don't dream to compete with, let's say, Japan, Korea, and China. But even in the ASEAN area, like Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, they go so fast because let's say 30 years ago, it's still nothing. And recently, let's say last 10 years, 5 years, it's booming. And Vietnam, we have, actually in the area, we have long history. We know the classic music on the opera house in Hanoi is more than 100 years, you know? So it means that classic music came to Vietnam so early, and we have a solid school and everything. And so I think we have now, we have to catch up of what they are going around. So I think it's really, the timing, it's really cannot be later. Timing is perfect. And then what is better, Hanoi this year we have celebrating millennium of Thang Long town, and so I think it's really also very good chance to make it happen at the same time. And of course, this competition, another that this year, where the whole world celebrated Chopin year. It's 200 years Chopin birthday. So that explains why in program of this competition, very much, let's say half of the program is dedicated to the Chopin music.
Right, exactly. Now, for you, Professor Panowska, being able to join into the process of judging so many competitions, what did you think of this competition in particular?
To start the competition is difficult, like Maestro Tyson told. To be born in such a competition is very important because this competition is born in wonderful environment. For my opinion, because I am 17 years living in ASEAN region, I think that Vietnam has the best education system for music. And I would like this system to come soon for more collaboration with Malaysia and neighboring countries. And then this competition is like newborn baby, very successful because so many countries participated and so many wonderful, great pianists was discovered. And I hope, like jury, I think with my colleague, we can share the same opinion. We can sleep free because I think we try our best to don't do mistake because concern the children and their future. And I wish all the best this competition to grow. And last few years we have very good collaboration, Malaysia and Vietnam. And I hope our friendship will develop in that way to discover more talent in this region and wider, and to make this region recognizable and the people from other parts of the world to come and to be all together, because music is unique language in the world, international language of love, of trust, of respect, of understanding, and no better talk and no better understanding if you talk with music. And I hope this competition succeeds from the first day.
Wonderful, and I think it did. For you, Mr. Bourdoncle, what did you think of coming from the European context, from France particularly? What do you think of the organization of this contest this time here in Vietnam?
Well, I think it was well organized, and as Maestro Dan Tyson said, it's the first time, so you always have to learn, you know. Some competitions already are probably 50 or 60 years old, and they still learn many things. So I suppose that's absolutely natural to begin and to continue learning. But I wanted to say also that it's true that the historical context in Vietnam is very favorable, very good for musical growth in general. But also you have excellent conditions here also. I mean, you have a wonderful music school. You have a new concert hall, which is going to be built, which is also a fantastic opportunity. You have orchestras at this School of Music. with very good teachers. So I think all the context is very positive to make such a big competition. And this year, I think we had already more than 60 competitors taking part in this competition. And you know, for a first competition, I think it's really a great event. Mm-hmm. It's a great departure. Right. So we all wish to this competition a great future.
So we've just seen a performance by Vũ Minh, who is one of the youngest competitors in this competition, the International Piano Competition. So we'll ask the judges now about what they think about this youngest competitor. For you, Mr. Brodunkler, what do you think of Vũ Minh performance?
I found her a great talent, great energy, and great capacity of communicating her feelings. I enjoy very much what she was doing. She's very young, but she's already a great artist.
Wow, okay, wonderful. For you, Professor, being a pedagogue yourself, seeing a student like this, what do you think?
I cannot pretend to tell that God gave me a gift to understand when the children, especially young age group, enter to the stage. When she enters on the stage, I know that she can play well. And when I listen to her, and when we look that she's still not 10 years old, and then she has such a wonderful understanding and mature thinking, and I can tell a little bit maybe too much, but philosophical thinking and understanding of the pieces, and her abilities to try to do, and her strong personality, I think this is basically guaranteeing this age that she can develop very well, but of course she has to continue to work with her teacher and later to go to the great stages. And I'm confident that in Vietnam you have good music education, and all your students coming to Malaysia, they always prize winners, means they're very competitive, and I wish that she can do very well, and I'm confident in that.
Now, this competition, it is said that drew over 60 young piano talents of all age groups. And as one of the main judges of the competition, Mr. Brodunkler, what would you say about the overall quality of this year's competition? I
found it very, very high level in general. I think very high standard to begin with. It was I cannot say a surprise for me, because I know that Asia, in general in Asia, you work very hard. All the pianists have got, I think, great abilities with their fingers. They're very quick, very flexible. That's fantastic. Just what is to be worked, but that's for everybody the same thing. I think for all people who want to play an instrument, you have to try to understand better the culture, the musical aspect, but not only the musical aspects. Snezhana just said that, the philosophical aspect, the historical aspect. You have to be a person of culture to understand better what the compositor wanted in general. And so you can, after that, play normally. If you understand, Michelangelo, a great Italian pianist, used to say, if you understand well what you have to play, you can play better. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand, of course, you can imagine by yourself what's going to be the result.
Exactly. Now, for you, artist Dan Tyson, being the artistic director, I know you said you didn't get a chance to see all of the competitors, but what do you think of the ones that you did get to see?
Right. So yesterday I attended full day. It's the final round category C, when everybody had to play with the orchestra and perform one concerto by Chopin. So this is quite tricky round, and because it's required experience how they play together with the orchestra. So it's also, I can say the level-wise really high. As far as I'm judging in many other competitions, sometimes happen that they play wonderful in first 2-3 rounds, and in final, because they never play with the orchestra, and this really suddenly everything is turned over. So this is already we really witness that the level of yesterday is really very high because they already have their experience with the orchestra.
Now, we talked a little bit about Bùi Vũ Nguyệt Minh, who is one of the Vietnamese contestants. Yeah. Now, since the contest this year is in Vietnam, what do you think, Mr. Berdonkler, about the qualities of the Vietnamese contestants compared with their peers in this competition?
I think great ability in general. They're very nice fingers, all the possibilities. So they're talented. One thing that Snezhana said probably is in the Asian temperament is that you work very hard, and probably the average age of competitors and musicians got very lower because you found some methods in Japan. They found methods, and kids in Europe, in America, began to play the piano at 6-7 years old, violin, everything. And here, in Asia, you began at 2 or 3 years old. Of course, you arrive with some young musicians who are just 10 years old, and they play very difficult pieces already that concert pianists, concert musicians play when they are 20, 25, all their life sometimes. So, the average is going lower. So thank you to you, Asian people, to make that possible for young musicians to already enjoy so nice pieces very early. But be careful. It's better not to begin too early because you have to understand, of course, what you play.
Now, of the 3 categories in this competition, Table A with 17 candidates, that's where Yukine was in, aged from 10 to 13, saw the impressive performance by pianists. Our reporter Hui Phúc will tell you more in the next clip.
The finale of Table A, with 17 candidates, aged 10 to 13, took place on September the 8th. Within 15 minutes, each candidate plays 1 or 2 movements from a Mozart or Haydn sonata and pieces by Frédéric Chopin. Many candidates made courageous selections with large-scale Chopin creations.
Thực ra thì bài Ballad số 1 nó thể hiện nội tâm bên trong. Thực ra những người mà đã lớn tuổi mà đã trải qua được cuộc sống thì họ có thể đánh sẽ hay hơn rất nhiều. Có thể là nhớ về ngôi trường của mình đã xa bởi vì cháu bây giờ lên cấp 2 rồi. Và cũng có thể đôi chút phần mà nhẹ nhàng mà chậm rãi đằng giữa thì có thể nhớ lại về cái công ơn của mẹ.
Bài đấy là bài scherzo, là một thể loại và tiết tấu của nó cũng biến đổi và tình cảm của nó cũng biến đổi. Cháu cũng thích những dạng bài như thế.
More often than not, taking part in piano competitions involves a battle of wits. Many candidates aim high, and select challenging works to truly stand out. The fact that some candidates chose pieces above them proves that they really wish to find a personal style. In fact, many jury members look for musical personalities rather than note-perfect playing.
We probably need like to listen to more of potential and how much they enjoy music in playing and practicing and all that. And some contestants could have chosen higher level pieces. Some contestants should have chosen the right pieces for them. Some of them chose much higher pieces than they couldn't control, they couldn't manage.
For me, music is poetry, not the sport, you know. And also, a lot of musicians now can play perfectly, but only some of them can play with big emotional feeling, and for me it's more important now.
These young contestants might one day become sought-after artists. Whether they earn an honor or not, they still gain much experience for a future performing career.
Now, in the finale of Table A, each contestant is given 15 minutes to play one or two elements from a piece or sonata from Polish pianist composer Frédéric Chopin, since it is said, as our artist Dr. Tyson said, this year marks his 200th birthday. So, Professor Panowska, what would you say about the contestants' choice of the pieces in terms of Chopin's work?
Most of all is the choice of the teacher. I think the teacher must know the best way how to represent the best quality of the student. And of course, I am not always supportive that the children or young pianists can play difficult piece. The piece they must understand, like you can get the piece you play, like special message to you sent by, let me say, Haydn. Like you open the letter, and you understand this is message came to your letterbox, the letter from Haydn. You open the scores and understand, you must understand what Haydn or Chopin or Beethoven is telling in this message, especially to you, because we cannot copy interpretation. We can use now DVD and CD and TV, a lot of information, but individuality is very important. And first of all, you have to understand what the message of the composer is, especially to you. And when you can understand and make this music close to you, understandable, you can start to communicate with Haydn, with Mozart, and you have to come through the music to understand what Haydn, Mozart, or other composers think and how they understand the music they give to you like present, and what they have, which imagination, which fantasies they have in that time, we don't know. But music will tell us. These black notes on the white paper are so imaginative, and we have to work and look like 200-300 years behind. What was the time when they lived, the composer? And this actually makes this long process of building one person, both musically, intellectually, both internationally recognizable, both, of course, creative. And this is no doubt that they can play very confident on stage because they already understand the music. And I hope that will be major point, and I suggest for young musicians, major to understand the piece, not to make a piece to play on stage like show. This piece must be part of you, part of your personality, and your personality to show through this music. Then this is easier, and stage is yours.
Right. So it's not about strict imitation of music.
I think
it's about really understanding, interpreting, and feeling the music.
And of course, you can be inspired by great pianists. Of course, I'm older than Maestro, but I'm inspired with his music. I have recently listened his Tchaikovsky Seasons recording, and I like to understand. I understand his message in this, because this individuality is very important.
Now, in the next part, we'll hear a large-scale Chopin composition, the Ballad No. 1 in G minor, Opus 23, performed by Do Hoàng Linh Chi, who won the second prize. So we'll take a look at that. As veterans in music performance, all of you, you're being a professor, you two being pianists on the world stage. Now, artist Đặng Thái Sơn, for particular here in Vietnam, for Vietnamese young pianists like Bùi Vũ Nguyệt Minh, like Do Hoàng Linh Chi, what advice would you have for them? People who are pursuing a career in piano performance.
I think that the picture today with the young generation Vietnamese, I mean, that musician here, is that now we're becoming the big number, that when many kids started to learn music, just very positive. And what happened, they started for a few years and then they drop and change the profession. Why? Because when the moment they have to choose a profession, some of them scared to choose this profession because they said it's so risky. There's no guarantee for the future. They don't see. So here we need to support them. We need to do something, and it's not only from the individual, from its whole, from the whole the country, from the also responsibility of the government, create it so that bring hope for them. Then they will continue this, and then we have more talent. Because today music, unfortunately, the life of the musician is very hard in Vietnam. They hardly can earn their life, so earn their living. So that's why we have to improve. It's really urgent, improve the condition for the musician, and for the young generation. Of course, I think today we call about the hardware. It's on the facility to learn improve greatly in Vietnam. So we have on the facility, but what is really we have to pay really attention with the software. It's program education. Just this part that really I really want to participate and do more things to bring up this level of the education, music education there. And for the young kids, so just on the advice, I said that for the moment, we cannot expect everything, that at the same time to be a great artist and live comfortable. It's very tough. You have to sacrifice one of them. So if you are really talented and music is so dear to you, so it's so bring a great happiness that you, at the same time, your life to do something with the thing that you love. Let's say music is your life, to love it. Okay, so materially, it's a bit difficulty, but when you feel really that music is like a part of spiritual food, that it's so you need it, then we can take it very easy. Yeah. So against all kind of trendy today, young generation become, and I don't say that everybody, but a kind of materialized. The trend is so strong here. I understand Vietnam lived for many years in poverty and everywhere is so poor. Now we have more chance to become a bit free. And then it's like, I don't want the Vietnam just only like a money-making machine. And they have to pay more attention to the art part, like a culture and spiritual part. So exactly the function and also sense why we want to create it more music activity, like a competition and like a festival or something like that, to bring up other part that it's so ignored.
Well, it's wonderful advice that you have given to our young talents here, and also who are watching, who want to pursue a profession in music, that they follow their heart, that they do what they truly love, and that they know that the road is not going to be easy, but it will be quite difficult. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for being such wonderful organizers and also judges of this performance, and we'll hope you'll be back in Vietnam again to enjoy more piano.
Thank you.
Now, before closing the show, we'll have a chance to enjoy another piece by the top winner of the competition, so have a look.